There is a quiet hunger that almost no one talks about. It doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't announce itself loudly. It hides behind ambition, romance, kindness, productivity, even spirituality. It is the need to be chosen. Not loved. Not connected. Chosen. Chosen by a partner. Chosen by a friend group. Chosen by an audience. Chosen by a job, a mentor, a system, a gatekeeper. And the world rewards this hunger. From a very young age, you are taught that being chosen means you matter. That selection equals worth. That attention is proof of value. That approval is safety. No one calls it an addiction. But it behaves exactly like one. Because once your sense of worth is tied to being selected, something subtle happens. You stop listening inward. You start scanning outward. Who is watching? Who is approving? Who might leave? Who hasn't chosen me yet? And without realizing it, your life becomes an audition. You adjust your tone. You soften your edges. You suppress your instincts. You reshape yourself just enough to remain desirable. Not consciously. Quietly. Habitually. This is the cost no one names. Because the need to be chosen does not just affect your relationships. It fractures your inner authority. And spiritually, that fracture is expensive. You were not born needing approval. You did not arrive in this world believing you had to earn love. That belief was learned. It formed early, in small moments that seemed harmless at the time. Praise when you behaved correctly. Withdrawal when you didn't. Comparison disguised as motivation. Affection attached to performance. Slowly, your nervous system made a connection. Love equals acceptance. Acceptance equals safety. Safety equals survival. So you adapted. You became attentive to reactions. Sensitive to shifts in tone. Aware of what pleased and what disappointed. Not because you were weak. Because you were intelligent. You learned how to stay connected. But here's the part that matters later. The child who learns that love must be earned becomes the adult who believes worth must be confirmed. And when that belief hardens, it doesn't stay in childhood. It follows you into dating. Into friendships. Into careers. Into spirituality. You start measuring yourself by response. Did they reply? Did they choose me again? Am I still wanted? And the more your worth depends on external selection, the less space your inner voice gets to speak. There is a moment most people miss. A moment where you feel something internally. And immediately check whether it will be approved externally. You sense a boundary. But you don't enforce it. You feel a truth. But you soften it. You know something isn't aligned. But you stay quiet. Why? Because the cost of truth feels higher than the cost of self-betrayal. This is the spiritual trade-off. Every time you choose validation over truth, you abandon a piece of yourself. Not dramatically. Incrementally. And over time, the abandonment becomes normalized. You stop trusting your instincts because they interfere with being chosen. You stop honoring discomfort because it might disrupt harmony. You stop expressing clarity because it might lead to rejection. Alan Watts spoke often about the masks we wear. Roles we inhabit. Identities we perform. Games we play without realizing we're playing. The need to be chosen turns life into a performance. And the tragedy is not that you perform. It's that you forget you're performing. You start confusing the role with the self. And spiritually, that confusion is costly. Because alignment cannot survive where performance dominates. When the need to be chosen enters relationships, something shifts. Love becomes conditional, even if no one says it out loud. One person is subtly auditioning. The other is subtly evaluating. Power dynamics form without intention. The one who needs to be chosen will tolerate more, compromise earlier, silence themselves faster. Not because they lack dignity, but because the nervous system is prioritizing attachment over truth. This is how people end up staying where they feel unseen. This is how red flags get reframed as challenges. This is how intuition gets overridden by hope. Because the fear is not losing the person. The fear is losing the validation. Jung understood this deeply. He saw how projection works. How we place our worth into the hands of another and call it love. How we turn relationships into mirrors that confirm or deny our value. But a relationship built on the need to be chosen is not mutual recognition. It is emotional negotiation. And the longer it lasts, the more expensive it becomes. You pay with your boundaries. You pay with your clarity. You pay with your nervous system. Here's something most people miss. The body always knows when worth is being negotiated. When you are waiting to be chosen, your system does not relax. It monitors. You replay conversations. You analyze tone. You anticipate rejection. You prepare for abandonment. This is not insecurity. It is vigilance. And vigilance is exhausting. Your body stays in a low-grade state of alert, even when nothing is wrong. Peace becomes conditional. Rest becomes postponed. Safety feels temporary. This is why the need to be chosen often comes with anxiety. Not because you are broken, but because your nervous system is constantly scanning for confirmation. And spiritually, this is unsustainable. Because awakening requires presence. And presence cannot exist where attention is always elsewhere. At some point, awareness enters the picture. Not dramatically. Quietly. You begin to notice the pattern. You see how often you edit yourself. You feel the exhaustion of performing. You recognize the subtle resentment that builds when you abandon yourself repeatedly. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Awareness does not attack the pattern. It exposes it. And exposure is enough. Because once you realize that needing to be chosen is costing you your inner authority, the pattern becomes unbearable. You start pulling back. Not out of bitterness. Out of honesty. You stop over-explaining. You stop chasing response. You stop auditioning for belonging. This is often mistaken for withdrawal. But it isn't avoidance. It's reclamation. Alan Watts once said that awakening does not make you better. It makes pretending impossible. And this is where many people feel confused. Because the need to be chosen used to guide their decisions. Without it, there is a void. But that void is not emptiness. It is sovereignty returning. There is a misunderstanding here that needs to be cleared. Choosing yourself does not mean rejecting connection. It means removing negotiation from your worth. You no longer ask, will this make me desirable? You ask, is this true? You no longer stay where you feel diminished. You no longer chase what costs your peace. Relationships change. Not because you stop caring, but because you stop pleading. You become less reactive, more discerning, more grounded. And something surprising happens. When you stop needing to be chosen, attraction reorganizes. Connections become mutual, not desperate. Presence replaces performance. Recognition replaces validation. You are no longer selected. You are met. Let's be clear. You will lose things when you stop needing to be chosen. You may lose certain relationships. You may lose access to spaces built on performance. You may lose the comfort of being externally affirmed. But look at what you reclaim. Your intuition. Your nervous system. Your clarity. Your dignity. You stop spending energy waiting to be picked. You stop shaping yourself to fit someone else's hunger. You stop confusing attention with love. And spiritually, this is the shift. Not toward isolation, but toward wholeness. Alan Watts often reminded us that the universe is not asking you to prove your worth. Only the ego does that. When you stop needing to be chosen, you stop paying for belonging with pieces of yourself. And what remains is quieter, stronger, free. The question is no longer, will I be chosen? It becomes, am I aligned? And that question changes everything.